The Mystery Supercontinent, made by the Jacaranda Society and Environmental Atlas from 1996. Now, on our loving planet, we always wonder what it might look like in the future. So far, many people have made many different predictions on what some supercontinents may look like. Some examples are Pangaea Proxima, Amasia, Novopangaea, Orica, Hysteria, and even my predicted future supercontinent of Calicaria. However, there is another supercontinent that I have read a few years ago in that very atlas. The only thing is, it doesn't have a name. It looks something like this. Now just have a look at it. For where each continent and each fragment is, it looks very interesting, doesn't it? But you're probably wondering, how does it end up like that? Well, I've created more pictures in Canva, this time with more detail, to show you how it'll actually look like. So here it is. So this is our world today. It looks normal, everything is where it is. But the next few pictures may surprise you. So as you can see, that things have moved a slight, just a slight. Australia has slightly more of a tilt. South America has just gone a bit downwards. North America has gone just slightly upwards. Eurasia and Africa start moving towards the north. Around this time, this is where continental flooding starts to take shape because of global warming. You can see that the Amazon River has started to widen up, and some parts of Africa have flooded as well, particularly in Nigeria as well. You can also see that some of North America is starting to flood as well, creating itself into 3 different land masses that you might recognise as you might have seen a map of what the world looked like during the Cretaceous. Now, as you can see, more flooding has started to take shape. The Amazon River has widened some more. Then we have the Parana River starting to widen as well, as you might find in Uruguay, Argentina and Paraguay. You can see that some of Australia has started to flood as well because of the expansion of Lake Eyre. And you can also see that North America has started to flood as well. But meanwhile, as you can see over where Africa is, you can see that East Africa has split. Why? Because of the collision of Africa into Europe, it has reactivated the rift. Therefore, the Arabian Peninsula pulls East Africa away from the rest of the remaining continent. Now, as you can see, a lot of flooding has taken place, particularly in Africa, Australia, South America and North America. It begins to look a bit like the Cretaceous, except some subcontinents, like India, as you might know, they have either submerged themselves with present-day continents, or they might be connected, or they might have sunken underwater. But meanwhile, as you can see that it does start to look a bit more like the Cretaceous, except continents are in different positions. And that's it. Now, as you can see, this picture is where sea levels start to drop. Because of the next extinction event, as you can see, it's hit the middle of Poland. Sea levels start to dramatically decrease, and therefore it'll send the world into an impact winter, and maybe even an impact summer. Then, as you can see in this picture, you can see that sea levels have decreased, but in a strange way. You can see that some continents, like South America and North America, you can see that they have such strange shapes, as does Asia as well. As you can see, the southeastern part of it has connecting land masses now. You can also see that Europe has the same thing as well, with the Nordics connecting to each other now. And you can also see that Doggerland, which connects Germany to the UK, and even Ireland to the UK, has been reconnected because of these decreasing sea levels. Now in this picture, sea levels have gone back to normal, and as you can see, the continents and some subcontinents start getting closer together. South America, as you might have seen over time, has dipped down to grab Antarctica, and it starts to rise up with it in a sort of connecting plate, which is possibly the Scotia plate. It may not be the Scotia plate, but this little tectonic plate is just one of the plates that connect South America and Antarctica with each other. Now in this picture, you can see that a lot of flooding has happened again, but this time it's more catastrophic. The continents have lost a lot of their land area, but managed to keep some of it. What is happening in this picture is what's known as a thermal maximum, where the temperature, the average global temperature, is so high it can cause a lot of flooding, and therefore you can see that some areas like Lake Erie, the Amazon River, and different parts, low-lying lands of North America, have started to turn into seas or small openings. Now as you can see here, sea levels have decreased yet again. This time because of some submergings are actually happening. You can see that Australia has submerged itself into North America. East Africa and Madagascar are starting to converge themselves slowly in, but Madagascar doesn't have a prominent collision course with any landmass, or will it? In this part of the timeline, you can see that all the continents and subcontinents are coming together now. East Africa, so basically the Cape of Horn, has made contact with the Indian Peninsula. North America and Australia, now converged into it, is making their way into Asia. South America and Antarctica are still rising together. And Africa has a bit more of a tilt as Asia and Europe try to spread themselves throughout the Arctic Circle. Now in this picture, you can see that the continents are now really close to each other, but this is the part where South America and Antarctica actually part ways, because South America is inbound for North America, whereas Antarctica is inbound for Southeast Asia. And as you can see, East Africa has fully locked itself in within the Indian Peninsula, but not only that, also the Arabian Peninsula and Iran. In this picture, this is where the supercontinent takes full shape. The sea level has dramatically decreased, but that's what normally happens when all of the continents join together. you can see that a lot of land area has increased within all of the continents, and that everything is accessible to different sorts of wildlife that may have evolved or have been introduced after the extinction of humans. Now, this is the supercontinent here. It doesn't actually have a name, but also in this video, I'll tell you where this supercontinent will go and what might happen to it. So over time, it'll move further southeast and sea levels start rising again, but some land masses are actually still connected to each other, just like how Antarctica is with Madagascar and Southeast Asia. The Nordics are still connected, as is Doggerland between Germany and the United Kingdom with Ireland as well. You can see that East Africa has still landlocked itself within the Arabian Peninsula, the Indian Peninsula and Iran. Now, just because the whole supercontinent is in unison doesn't mean it can change shape. As you can see, Antarctica is moving itself close to Australia again, and it'll eventually make a connection, as you might see in the next photo. Now, in this picture here, you can see that the supercontinent is starting to break up. Antarctica is starting to converge into Australia. North America, South America have started to pull away East Asia. As you can see, the Baikal Lake Rift has been activated, which will split Russia, some of China, Mongolia, and even Pakistan as well along with it. The rest of Asia, East Africa, Madagascar, the rest of Africa and Europe is going to go towards the west, as the other half is going to continue in a southeastern direction before those two huge land masses start to break apart. They'll be torn into several different pieces. Some may be unrecognisable, some of them may even resemble ones from the past. From then on, this is where the world will start to warm up. All the oceans will start evaporating. C3 and C4 photosynthesis will become no longer possible, and some life will start to die out from there. There'll be no longer any ice ages, but there will be some variation in global average temperatures, but there is a high possibility that some ice caps on Earth will no longer reform. And as you might know, in possibly 1 billion years, most of the world would have dried up, with some pockets of water still left around the poles or possibly low in the hemispheres. If you want to know what it looks like, it'll look something like this. So as you can see where the arrows are pointing, you can see that these are pockets of water, either at the poles or low in the hemisphere. Sometimes they can be at the equator, but there'll be low chance of life around there. The surface temperature will be 47 degrees Celsius. That is 116 degrees in Fahrenheit. So, as you can see here, all of the world, well, most of the world anyway, it looks barren, doesn't it? That means there are no plants left to live. There is only simple life left, like eukaryotes and prokaryotes. And you can see that there are still some clouds remaining. It will rain, but it'll all just vaporize away very quickly. It'll probably be just hot rain, which is like, because of the condensation and the warming luminosity of the sun, which is like heating up the ozone layer, that's what's getting that hot rain to be possible. It'll feel like as if you're standing under a shower and it's 47 degrees Celsius. Now that would be really hot, wouldn't it? You could feel your head burning away. That's what it would feel like if you were standing under a cloud and it was raining on Earth 1 billion years from now. So just be grateful. Most of yous won't be around by then. But still, it's interesting to think about how the Earth might look like in 1 billion years. It looks very interesting, doesn't it? And there you go. That was the whole story. Now, this supercontinent you can see here, it doesn't actually have a name. So, if you like, if you want to give it a name, go right ahead. Let us know what name you might want to give it. We're interested to hear your thoughts. And there you go, that's basically the whole thing right now. Take a moment to have a look at it. And there you go. Thank you for tuning in. I really do hope you enjoyed watching this video today. I am Van Thursday, and I hope to see you guys again very, very soon. So, I'll see you later on. Bye for now. We give credit to the Jacaranda Society and Environment Atlas from the National Library of Australia for the picture. Keep up the good work. You inspire us a lot. Thank you very much.